Hey guys, this is Deb Joyce Meek from Delight of My Art here in mid-Michigan, and today we're doing a fun pop-up card. I like to do fun folds. They're just fun. So today we're playing with the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. You can see it off to the left here down on my desktop. It's a beautiful die set that creates this really fun sunflower, and this bundle right now is 20% off during the month of March, as well as the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which these dies will all fit into. So I have a feeling that they're going to retire this bundle. All of the bundles that are on sale are probably going to retire. So if any of them are popping up to you as ones that you'd like to get, I would check that out. So let's open this up. This is a pop-up card. So this is really fun. Let's celebrate you. Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. So I will teach you how to make this mechanism today. It's a fun pop-up card. Isn't that cute? So I'll go ahead and put my face down. And at the end of this video, I will also be showing you a sneak peek of next week's March stamp class, which you can order online or come in person. So next week's class is in person on Thursday night next week. And on Friday next week on my Facebook Live, I'll be doing the class. So you'll be able to see all of the projects get put together. And then you'll have until the end of the month to order a packet if you'd like a packet. So I'll have to see how many I have left after the live class, and then I'll let you know next Friday. So let's go ahead and just do the desktop here. Okay, so here are all the mechanisms here. Let's go ahead and put this to the side for a second. What we're going to start with, see this card base is crumb cake. I'm going to do it a little bit differently for the video here, and we're going to try to do it on a thick white card base. This felt a little bit thin because there's so much going on here. It felt a little bit thin right here. So let's go ahead and try that with the thick, and then you can let me know at the end which one you think looks better when we're done. So we'll put that off. We'll put that in the corner so we can still see it. So I'm going to take my trimmer. This is a piece of basic white thick cardstock. It's 11 inches long and 4 1/4 wide. And we're going to put it in the trimmer and score it at 5 1/2. And I seem to have lost my scoring blade. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Sometimes it pops off. Oh, here it is on the floor. So if this ever happens to you, here's a tip on how to put this back in here. See, it's got this little groove right here like this, and there's a little extra hole right here. It's a little bit wider. You can just kind of sneak it right in there, and now it's in. So if it gets to that hole again and gets knocked, it might come out, but that's how to get that back in there. So 5 1/2 score. And then we're going to scoot it over to 4 1/4. This gives us our square because it's 4 1/4 this way. Now we want to score it at 4 1/4 right here. So that gives us our card scored in half, and then it will also open there like that. So let's give that a press with our bone folder. Now we'll need a piece of designer series paper. I love this wood paper, and this is again probably retiring. I know our retiring list is probably coming out, I think, next Wednesday. So once that's announced, people go nuts and just grab everything that they wanted. Even though sometimes it's retiring. We're retiring the all of the colors. This one of my favorite colors, Misty Moonlight. So all of the Misty Moonlight things are going to be retiring, and that's going to get snatched up probably first. So highly recommended to grab anything that you want before the retiring list is announced. So this piece of DSP is part of this pack right here. It's got a whole bunch of wood patterns, tiles, and paint splotches and stuff. It's called In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is the second year, I think, that this has been available, so I know that they're definitely retiring this. They like to create new and different papers and stuff, but it's got so many cool patterns in here, tiles and bricks and stuff. So it's a really nice pack, and it's actually a double pack, but it doesn't cost double. So we're going to cut that at 4 1/8 wide by 5 1/4, and then we're going to cut it at 4 1/8. So then we're left with this square, 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, and then this piece is 4 1/8 by 1 1/8, and that'll just go at the top there. So then we're going to do a bunch of die cutting with our mini machine. I love this mini machine because it's just so cute and little. We'll put this off to the side for a second. Excuse my squeaky chair. Here's our little mini machine. You can see my number 2 plate here is well worn, and I have just actually pulled out a newer number 2 plate to put on the top. So I like to really scuff up the bottom one, and I'll replace that one after it's nearly just scratches. I haven't even used this side, just this side. So you put plate number 1, plate number 2, and then you'll put your paper and your dies, and then put plate number 2 on top again. So let's get out some of these dies. This I'm using are the matching sunflower dies, and they come with a whole bunch of fun things. And we're going to be playing with the adhesive sheets today. I don't know if you've seen these. They come in the catalog, and you get a whole bunch of, I think it's 12 by 6 adhesive sheets for intricate dies. So you can make them, you can turn your dies into stickers. So this is going to be a lot easier to put together once we use these. So this is the large background piece of sunflower on Daffodil Delight. Make sure that just fits in there. So we're going to run that through. So we've got that piece. And I'll set that die aside. We'll get to the next one here. Now this one is crushed curry, but I want this one to be a sticker, so it's going to be easy to put on there because this is just outlines. So I want this to be a sticker. So let me show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to take a little piece. This is just a scrap that I had in my drawer, and it doesn't cover the whole thing. That's okay. I don't need it to. I don't like to waste all my sticky things, although there's lots of stickers there. When you're peeling the backing off of this, I'll stick into my fingers. You're going to peel off the side with the words, and the other side has no words. That's the part that the sticky stays to. Sometimes it's hard to tell because sometimes it just kind of gets all over. So it's a little bit sticky, but that's what you want, right? So I'm going to turn this whole piece over and just stick this right in the middle. And now my fingers are sticky. So we'll go ahead and run that through the machine too. See these little pieces that are off the edge? I am going to cut that off because I don't want my machine plates to get sticky. So I'll just cut that off. And we can throw this piece away. This platform is 3.5 inches wide, by the way. So if you are cutting pieces to fit on there, to fit through, you can go up to 3.5 wide. Now with this one, I'm going to go back and forth a couple times just because this one's so intricate. It'll just make it easier to pop out all of these little pieces here. See, that came right out. Let me take my scissors and just kind of poke those little pieces out, and we're done. Well, we're almost done with that one. So here's our, come on. All right, so we're just going to poke all these little pieces out with our scissors. You could use the pokey end of your, take your pick tool or anything else kind of pokey. You know, we also have a die brush that you could use on a piece of foam. I've misplaced mine, so I don't know where it is. But I hardly ever use that, so I actually just use the scissor tip most often. or the take your pick tool. So this takes a little bit of time. Just poke those pieces out. This is why we ran it through a couple of times, just to make sure everything was out. Giving a little bit of trouble with some of these things, but this white backing is just going to peel right off, so you don't have to worry about getting that off. Okay. Remind me to show you a another project that I made with these dies. Oh, Becky, your sticker sheets don't have words? Maybe mine are old. I think I bought them a while ago, so maybe they don't have the words on there anymore. But you just peel off one side. One side has the sticky, one side does not. So, all right, so here's our sticker. And then this will go right on this piece. Let's get rid of all this mess here. If you look at, I'm going to leave the sticky up for a second. If you look at this, you want to be able to line it up, and you notice these kind of sideways petals right here. This is going to be your clue to lining this flower up. So those two right there, we're going to put off to the bottom left there and find them on here. See, there they are, right there and right there. So well, some of those, yeah. So we'll just line those up on the corner there. And then that just sticks down, and now we've got that nicely layered together. There's our sunflower. So let's go ahead and cut some more pieces. See, it does flap up a little bit because I didn't use adhesive on the whole thing, but I kind of like that. It gives it a little bit of character, but it's still turned into a sticker, and I didn't use a whole bunch of my adhesive sheet. So let's go ahead and prepare this for more cutting. We do have a lot of cutting today. Usually I don't do that on camera, but I wanted to show you the mini die cutting machine here because it is 20% off. I have never seen it on sale before. So if you don't have a mini machine of your own, it's really fun. If you don't have any machines, I highly recommend getting it. And if you have the big one and don't have the little one, it's just handy. It's handy for the desktop. I tend to craft and my whole desktop is just filled with stuff, and I only have a little bit of room anyway, so this just fits right in there. All right, so let's go ahead and put this back here. We got plate number one, plate number two. We're going to put some crumb cake, some little kind of wheat branches or something. I'm going to put those in there. And we also will do a little black center piece. And we're going to do the leaf in Granny Apple Green. This is how I cut my dies. So I have a piece of scrap paper, and I'll lay the die right on there and then cut around it. And it seems to work pretty good. I'm going to put that right here. And with this piece, again, I want this to be a sticker. So I'm going to take this other piece of scrap here and turn it to the back. Sometimes it matters which side you do it. Sometimes it doesn't. Depends on the die. So I always just cover the one side with my die cut so that I know where the sticker could go. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so that's on the back. We're going to cut through the front where the sticky part is not. So I can put a whole bunch of things, even though this is the mini one, I can still stick a bunch of things on here. All right, so we're going to run that through. And since this intricate one is at the end here, we'll just go ahead and go back and forth a little bit towards the end here. Go back and forth. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm backing and then forwards again. Now we've got all these little pieces. If it gets stuck to this side, you can just kind of scoot it with your fingernail or scissors or something. We've got those dies. This one's die heavy. We're doing a bunch of die cutting today. But it's kind of fun to do all these cute little pieces sometimes. If it gets stuck on here, you can just peel it up. We've got all of our little pieces here. Got our centerpiece, got our leaf, and we'll get rid of all of these negative images. And then again, we'll get our scissors out to poke this through. I think I covered it with the machine. I did. So again, poking those through, and if your cut does not come off of the die, there's little holes left in the die for poking your piece out. You can see that it's still in there with the white sticker part. And the way to get that out, I usually take my scissor tips or some other kind of pokey tool, poke it in a hole there, and then you can just peel it right out. Once you get one side, you're good to go. There, it's out. Okay, so I'm going to put my dies away before they get lost. And we got one more die at the moment. Now this one is going to be the center, this brown part. So we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting, but it's pretty simple. I just cut this big enough to go and fit behind this center circle, and we'll just cut off the excess. Put those to the side for a second. Get rid of my little trashy bits. All right, so again, we're going to go back through here. Hang on to the top for stability. I'm going to go back and forth a couple times because this one's got a bunch of teeny tiny little holes that I want to come out right away. Now this one's got a bunch of little teeny pieces. All right, so I know that this one would probably benefit from that die brush because of all these little tiny circle bits that are going to come out. You don't have to have them come out. I see lots of samples online where people just leave in whatever stayed in and you know, don't worry about popping everything out. You can do what you'd like. I'm going to just take my scissors here and cut off these long ends. I hope everybody has fun plans for the weekend. Oh, I just have to tell you about my fun Florida trip last weekend. I had such a fun time with my husband winging us away to Florida for just a day plus 2 half days. So we came in around noon on Friday and left around 3 on Sunday. So that was really nice. It was beautiful out. We ate lots of good food, ate way too much food. And an interesting thing happened in the hotel. We stayed with a couple from my husband's work who we're good friends with. So it was us 2 couples, and we were going to go out to breakfast in the morning, but we kind of wanted to sleep in a little bit. And actually the other husband wanted to skip breakfast because he wanted to really sleep in because they've got 4 kids too. And, you know, you take advantage of that while you're on vacation and don't have any plans. Well, we got a good start to our morning when the fire alarm went off at 6:30 in the morning. And made everybody go down the stairs. I think we were on the 8th floor. So everybody was clustered in the stairwells and headed down. And there was a bunch of young adults there for spring break, I think. And so they were not having this early morning. So one of them mentioned that she had heard that it was a false alarm, but that made everybody on the stairwell just freeze up and not move. And so some guy in front of us said, "No, I'm a fireman, and if they're telling you to leave the building over the loudspeaker, you need to leave the building. If it's a false alarm, you can come back in later, but we're not playing around here." they didn't move. All of them stayed in the stairwell. There were dozens and dozens of people just standing there. And so we had to walk around them. We went outside and we went out for breakfast. We got a good start to our day and didn't waste anything, any time sleeping in. So I guess God had other plans for us to, it was a false alarm. Somebody had pulled the alarm. Maybe the girl that said that she had heard it was a false alarm. But anyway, that was an interesting aspect to our vacation. Makes for a good story, though. So I hope that everybody else has fun plans for the week here, the weekend. I think this is the glue that was running out. Oh, I have another one right here. Let's use this one. I'm just going to use some liquid glue here. This one is black, the centerpiece. And this I got to give a good press to because there is a dip in the middle from this piece. There's a hole. And so if you don't press hard enough, it doesn't catch down there. I could put it on dimensionals, I guess, but I didn't. So I'm just going to put this one flat too. Just in the center because there's all those holes there and I don't want the glue to come through. And again, give that a good press. So there's our sunflower. Isn't that cute? I just think that this looks so nice. And now with this little leaf, we've got the sticker on the back. We'll just peel that off. Now this is a sticker. I'm going to hold it gently and kind of put my fingers on the edges of this so that I can guide it to the right place. I'll line up the stem and give it a press. So now we have a leaf here. I did another one earlier. And then I ran another one through. So we're just going to make a third one here. And then you didn't have to watch me do 3 of these. So again, we just peel off the backing. Hold it at the edges. Hold this at the edges. And kind of guide them together. Once they're together, you press and it's all put together. So now we've got all of our little pieces here. And let's bring in, where did our card base go? Oh, here it is. So we've got this piece here. Let's go ahead and glue this down. Yes, we had a lovely weekend last weekend. We came back and it was, all the snow had really melted. We left in a snowstorm practically. The highway was really scary to drive early in the morning to the airport. But when we came back, all the snow was gone. And yesterday it was 72, which was amazing. Today's high of 50. So that's Michigan for you. But I was so thankful to have some warm time back here too. And really all of our snow is really melted. So I like that. So we're going to put our sunflower in the middle of the bottom square here and just kind of lay these leaves how we think we would like them. Oops. So I'm just going to start placing things so that I can kind of see what I like. I like to have it a little bit, heavy on one side and lighter on the other. If I evenly space this, let's say like this, it might look a little contrived. It doesn't really look quite as good as having it be a little bit off center. I hope that makes sense. So then we're going to put this one with the 2 over here. And the 1, we're going to put it at the bottom here. Like that. All right, so I'm going to take this top piece off and kind of leave these where I had them ish. And we'll go ahead and start gluing these down. I think that's where that goes. Yeah. Just give this a few dots. We could have done the stickers on these too. That would have been a lot easier. That's okay. Give it a press if it's the liquid glue. Takes a minute, well, a couple seconds. Pretty soon we can do that inside mechanism. The pop-up portion. Let's do this piece first. Okay, so here we have this, and I'm going to stamp "Let's Celebrate You" on this piece of balmy blue in the Misty Moonlight. This is one of the colors that's retiring. Oh, isn't it so pretty? If they do a color refresh, I'm thinking that they're going to bring this one back. I hope so. We'll see. We'll have to see. It just goes really well with the Night of Navy also. It's a really pretty blue. Let's celebrate you. While we're stamping, let's go ahead and stamp this little sunflower for the middle in Memento on our little scrap of white here. And again, while I have this ink out, I'll go ahead and decorate an envelope. Grab one here. All right, so here's an envelope while we have this out. Actually, I'll need a piece of scrap. Hang on. I'm going to put this on the flap. And then I'm going to do it in the corner, but I'm going to have it off the page a little bit. Let's see. Here's a little scrap piece. Don't mind my scribbles all over there. So just kind of coming in the bottom left corner. I think that looks nice. So we'll have our envelope done. We've got this done. Let's do some cutting. I'm not going to glue this down quite yet. All right, so we also have another piece of DSP for the inside. This is 6 by 6. Okay, so is that right? I believe so. Make sure. 6 by 6. So let's take our trimmer back. And we're going to score in half at 3 inches. And turn it the other way in half at 3 inches again. And then you're going to do one diagonal. So we're just going to put both of the tips here in the track and then score that again one more time. Okay. And then while we have the trimmer out, we're going to cut out our "Let's Celebrate You." Oops. Hitting things. I'll just trim off the edges here. Now on this other one, I did cut with the trimmer. I just sliced it up until there and then sliced it up till there and then just kind of fussy cut around the Y. Yeah, I think we should do that again. Okay, hang on. Let's do that again. It looks cool. All right, so I'm going to put that back in there. Hold it with the bar here. And that goes up until about, see the blade actually, center of it is right here. So I'm going to stop there. It's probably a little bit too early, but that's okay. Oops, I should leave that in there. Leave it in there so that the line is the same here. There. All right, so now we're just going to snip it a little closer. It's easier to snip it straight if you get a line already started there. And then we're just going to fussy cut out just that bottom little bump. I think that looks cool. It makes it a little bit less bulky on the card. Okay, keep bumping that. All right, don't need that anymore. Now I'm gonna take some blends and we're gonna color this piece right here. If you haven't used the blends, these are my favorite coloring tools. I've got Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green. I've got the light shaded spruce just to give a little bit of a dark splash in there. And I've got the soft suede because we don't have an early espresso, and that's pretty close. Oh, I also have light black, which sounds funny, but I love light black. It's just subtle enough where you can see the stamped image a little bit behind there. So I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and color the light daffodil with all of the petals. And this is for the inside accent piece. Just a quick coloring. I love the blends because they don't leave coloring lines. Like if you use, I don't know, Crayola markers, you can kind of see the lines of where you color. And I suppose that might be true if you were coloring a really big image with these markers, but typically they don't leave lines. So I'm going to take the dark one of that same one and just kind of go over the parts where there's already some shadowy lines in the stamp. And so that will give a good shadow. That gives me a good hint of where to add the darker color to. So it's just adding a little bit of depth to the image. And I don't have to be super careful. It's an artsy thing. And then I'm going to go back in with the light one. Maybe I should zoom in here. Can you guys see? I'll pull it up. Okay, so this is it unblended. And then I'm just going to go over, I'm just going to scribble over where those two colors meet, kind of. Just real quick, just like in a circle-y motion. And then it's just kind of blended all together. I love how this looks. Okay, so now I'm going to take the light Granny Apple Green. I like using the marker tip, but there is a thin tip if you're afraid of it coming outside of the lines. That does bleed just a little bit. And if you ever have trouble with how these are coloring, make sure you're using Memento ink, which doesn't bleed when you color over it, and that you're using our basic white or our cardstock. If you use cheaper cardstock, it might not work as well. All right, so I'm just kind of dotting it in the center of those. And then I'm just going to blend that again. And then I'm just going to add a few dots. This is just me being extra, but light shaded spruce. This is the color that is the outline for these leaves right here. I just want to add just a little bit of depth with that. So just a few, almost dots, just kind of in there. Can you see that? And then I'm going to color the center here in light soft suede. I like to do the light color first, add my dark color, and then go back in and blend it with the light. But you can really do it in any order you want. If you want to start with the dark and then just blend right away into light, I feel like if you give them time enough to dry between layers, which takes seconds, it's an alcohol marker, but starting with the light and then going back in with the dark. See how much of a contrast that is until I blend it. So So now it's nicely blended. And I'm going to go do the center with my light black. Okay, and now we can cut this image out. One last image with our machine. Oops, I've still got some pieces left from the center of the brown sunflower. Just had to scratch those into the trash here. I've got some washi tape on this one because it's cutting out a stamped image, and I don't want it to shift around in the machine, so I've just stuck a little bit of washi tape on the edge. And these will line up just right with the edges. You should be able to see all of the edges of your stamped image, and it should come out nice and even that way. All right, so now we've got this cute little sunflower image, and we'll be putting the inside mechanism together. This is what everybody's been waiting for, right? All right, I'm gonna put this machine to the side here. Okay, so we've got our 6x6 piece here, right? And we scored it in half this way, and we scored it in half this way, and then we also scored it in half the other way. One diagonal, there it is. So I'm going to do it this way. So now I got to figure out how this goes together. Let's see. Okay, we want it to go the other way. So the part that you want to be facing you on the inside of the card is going to be the mountain fold on the diagonal, and the other ones will actually be going the other way. So now it should, now it should just kind of close up like that. So it's going to be like that. So again, you got your mountain fold on the diagonal, and then all of the other in half ones are valley folds. So that's what we got. So you've got one piece of basic white. This is going to be 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So that will fit right nicely in the bottom corner here. And when you stamp your sentiment, excuse me, when you stamp your sentiment on here, I would make sure that you're doing it on a diagonal instead of like this, because this will be opening and this will be up and down. You could actually do this card where it opens up this way, and you do the mechanism the same way, but then you would just make sure that your sentiment was still diagonal but facing a different way. So it's up to you on where you want it to go. So like this, you could have it open up like this, right? But we're going to do it up and down because I like that. They seem to fit in my card holder better that way. So I'll take our little piece of white, and we're going to stamp "Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful," and we're going to use the Misty Moonlight. Have I mentioned I love this color? I love this color. All right, so I'm going to put it right there. There's a little bit of space. If you wanted to add a little bit of a note, you could put the person's name right there. We're done stamping. Okay, so let's put all of this together. We've got our sunflower here. We've got our little card with the sentiment. We've got our front sentiment, and we've got to put this on too. So let's get out our dimensionals, which are somewhere here. I think I found some. All right, so I've got some dimensionals. We've got our glue, and we are going to use Stampin' Seal Plus. This is awesome. All right, so let's finish up this front real quick. We are going to just glue the flower down. Okay. Hold it for a second. This I'm going to put up on dimensionals, and I'm going to cover a little bit of the bottom of this And then the leaves will just kind of poke out from the bottom there. That's cute. And dimensionals. Yeah. It's a little bit bulky right here where there's so many layers. So I'm going to leave no dimensional right there on that part right there. And I'm going to line up this edge with the edge of the DSP. Now we'll open this up. Before we close this piece right here, I'm going to add a little bit of Stampin' Sale Plus on the edges of that little piece there. And we're going to add some ribbon. My ribbon is hiding over here. Okay, this is the Misty Moonlight ribbon from the New Horizons suite. It's 1/8 of an inch, so it's a nice thin ribbon. Great for accents. So I'm just going to put a little part right there and wrap it around here. This just helps it hold there so I don't have to fiddle with it while I'm placing it on there. And now we can actually close this. I'm going to add Stampin' Sale Plus right there and just close that. So now we've got our square flap, which is what we need for this kind of a card, without being a square card, which would cost you more in the mail. And we can make a bow to add to the top. Let's see. Yeah, I want this side. All right, so we'll get a glue dot out. And actually, before I stick that down, I'm going to add a glue dot right in the middle here so that this ribbon doesn't float around too. So that'll have a good base there for this to stick onto. And we'll trim this end one more time. All right, there's our front just about done. I have some sequins. These are some sequins that we have in the catalog right now. They've got big ones and little ones. I'm using the blue. So I'm going to put 5 of these on here. I'm going to put 2 big ones and 3 little ones. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Isn't that pretty? Oh, my camera's really tilted. Okay, there we go. So shiny, little bow. And now we can do the inside. All right, so here's our mechanism. Let's go ahead and glue this piece in. And we'll glue this piece up here. We'll just use liquid glue for this. And we don't want to put this one on dimensionals because we're closing it in this card and it's already a bit thick with all of this stuff in here. So try to refrain from adding dimensionals on the inside. I really wanted to, but I thought better of it. Oh, it's so pretty. This wood paper looks so good with the sunflowers, don't you think? Okay, so now we're going to put this on the inside. So we'll open this up and each of these corners actually will touch an edge of this piece of paper. So this 6x6 just fits perfectly in here. Hopefully you can see that. So what we're going to do is put tear and tape on the bottom. Not tear and tape. You can use tear and tape, Stampin' Sale Plus, or tear and tape. You could use the liquid glue, but you'd have to hold it there. If you're nervous about it not being in the right place, go ahead and use the liquid glue. It's just you're going to have to hold it there for a second. All right, so I know that this opens this way and it's got to go like this. So I'm just going to turn this so I can stick it in here and not mess it up. Okay. So that looks right to me, and it's still opening right, so I'm going to give that a good press. And then we're going to add more adhesive to this side. I'm going to get all the edges. If it overlaps a little bit, you don't want it to do that, so just kind of roll it over. And just a little bit in the middle. And now we're just going to close this. So now it should open perfectly. Let's check. Yay! It worked. So there's our pop-up card. So thank you for tuning in with me. Okay, you're going to have to let me know whether you like the crumb cake background or the white one. This one does feel a little bit more sturdy. So let me know if you, whoops, it's flinging sequins everywhere. Let me know which one you like the best. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to join my email list, I send out free tutorials every Tuesday, and I'll include an email link on there. If you could follow me on YouTube, I'd sure appreciate it. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, which is super exciting. And I also, if you'd like to purchase the class that's coming up. Oh, did I show those projects yet? I don't think I did. So here's some of the things that we're going to be doing on Thursday and Friday next week. So here are some of the class projects. This is going to be a pink and gold and black and white kind of ladybug class. And look at this card. This is a pocket card, but it also holds a gift card. So this is on a little clip right there, and we've got a little bee that we made, and the ladybug, and this fun gold and black and white paper that has some pops of pink on there. We're using a little flower, and just a lot of fun. So if you're interested in this class, I'll include a link for that too. You can earn it for free with a $35 or more order, and I will ship the kit to you for free, and you'll be able to get the tutorial emailed to you, and you can view the everybody can view the Facebook Live or YouTube video on the class. So the class video is free. It just might not include dimensions. The PDF will include dimensions, and then you'll also get a packet in the mail if you order the class. So I hope that you'll join me with that, and I'll have to let you know how many I have. I have probably at least 8. So probably a little bit more too. So we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to place an order for this kit, then I will include the host link for that, and then you will automatically qualify if your order is over $35. If you'd just like the packet, you can order that shipped to you for $30. So if you don't want to place an order with me, that is fine. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous weekend. Oh, and I should probably put my face back on there because I always forget. All right, hang on. Hi, here I am. Thank you for watching, and have a fabulous day and a good weekend. I hope it's warm where you are. See you later.